There is a technique more effective than fear, more efficient than money. It costs nothing to produce, and it works on the smartest, hardest working people in the room. It is called making someone feel like they finally belong. And once that feeling gets inside you, you will destroy yourself to protect it. This is not a fairy tale. This is the operating system of every large institution on Earth. Before we talk about David, understand something about human beings. Every person carries three hungers that have nothing to do with food. The need to feel competent, that your abilities are real and recognized. The need to feel connected, that someone sees you, not just your output. And the need to feel that your choices are your own, that you are not simply a gear turning because a larger machine requires it. These are not weaknesses, they are the architecture of being human. And whoever learns to feed those hungers controls the person carrying them. Institutions figured this out long before psychology gave it a name. David joined the company at 26, telecoms, the kind of organization with a mission statement in the lobby and a staff handbook thicker than a Bible. He came in hungry, not just professionally, but in the deeper way. He had grown up in a household where recognition had to be earned through performance. He had spent his whole life being quietly competent in rooms that never acknowledged it. The company felt different. It had systems for recognition, structures, processes. It felt, in those early months, like a place where effort would finally be seen. He worked accordingly. Midnight emails, covered shifts, memorized systems faster than people who had been there for years. By year 3, he was flagged as high potential, which in corporate language means this one can carry more weight than we're currently loading him with. They promoted him, small raise, new title, and something more important than either. His manager sat across from him and said, "We see what you bring. This company would not run the same without people like you." That sentence did something precise inside him. It fed all three hungers simultaneously. You are competent, you are seen, you matter here. 3 needs, 1 sentence, 0 cost to the institution delivering it. He worked harder the week after. What he did not see was what was happening 1 floor above him. His name had appeared in a spreadsheet, not a personal file, a workforce planning document tracking output per salary unit. His numbers were exceptional, which meant the institution had one question: how do we sustain this without paying more for it? The answer was not proportional reward. The answer was to make him want to sustain it himself. George Orwell understood this mechanism when he wrote about horses and farms. The hardest workers were never the most threatened. They were the most believed. Boxer, the horse, didn't work until his body failed because he was afraid. He worked because the institution had given him a story about himself, that he was the backbone, that the farm depended on him, that his sacrifice meant something. He protected the identity even as it killed him. David was Boxer in a business casual shirt. Year 7, another promotion. Year 10, Employee of the Year. A glass trophy, a photograph on the internal website, a speech about how he embodied the company's values. His family attended. His mother cried. The room applauded. His colleagues watched, some genuinely happy, some quietly recalibrating, competing harder now, validating the entire system by wanting what it was offering. This is what most people miss. The exploitation doesn't only run top-down, it runs sideways. When colleagues celebrate the trophy, when they compete for the same recognition, they collectively maintain the architecture of their own extraction. Nobody planned it, nobody needed to. The institution had built a culture where workers enforced the system on each other, and called it ambition. David had no reason to question any of it. He was winning. What he did not understand was that external validation, once activated, doesn't stabilize, it escalates. The praise that once felt like evidence becomes something you need to keep producing. You stop working for the company. You start working to maintain the version of yourself the company created. That version has no off switch, no sick days, no limit. Psychologists call this controlled motivation, when your drive comes not from genuine purpose, but from the fear of losing a status someone else gave you. It is a slow fire that burns the house down from the inside. David's fire had been burning for 15 years. Year 13, the industry shifted, restructuring, new software, younger, cheaper employees. His salary, which had felt like reward, now appeared on someone's spreadsheet as liability. Meetings he used to attend, he now heard about afterwards. His manager became professionally distant in the specific way that means a decision has already been made above both of you. He worked harder, stayed later, performed his indispensability with increasing desperation, not understanding that the performance itself was proof he had already lost. The people who are genuinely valued don't have to prove it. Only the ones being managed out keep demonstrating they belong. Year 15, 1-hour meeting. HR representative he had never met. A document, a handshake. His manager did not come to say goodbye. The glass trophy was on his desk. They let him keep it. His colleagues returned to their desks and worked harder that afternoon, not because anyone told them to, because they had watched what happened, and the fear looked from the inside exactly like dedication. The machine taught the lesson without saying a word. The institution was never confused about what David was. The language of belonging, the awards, the handshakes, none of it was personal. It was a delivery mechanism for a psychological payload designed to extract maximum output from a human being with unmet needs the institution could cheaply simulate filling. It worked because David was human, because unmet childhood recognition makes you catastrophically open to whoever offers it later, because institutions are very good at finding that opening and have built entire performance management systems around making it feel like love. It was never love. It was yield management with a human face. So think about the language your organization uses about you right now. The phrases in your last review, the moment someone above you said you were essential. Ask yourself where you were before that validation arrived, what it filled, what you had been hungry for before the institution offered to feed it. Because if somewhere in your chest is a recognition that the praise didn't just motivate you, it completed something, then you already understand exactly how exposed you are. The trophy is real. The glass is real. Your name is on it. But whose hand is holding the saddle?